Hi, my name is Holly Finley. I'm the executive director from the Blue Magazine. We have today with us Mayor Mario Kranjac, who's the Republican candidate for New Jersey governor. We're excited to interview him today. Mayor Kranjac, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Well, good morning, and thank you for having me.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure to be here. My old stomping grounds. I grew up in Clifton, right close to here. So I'm Mario Kranjac. I was a two-term mayor of Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey. I self-imposed 2 terms, and I completed my last term, in the end of 2023. I'm an attorney by training and also an accountant. I passed the CPA exam, bar exams, venture capitalist, and I've got a law firm where I do corporate law. And I'm not a politician. I jumped into become mayor of my town after I saw that my predecessors had 42 years in office between father and son. And I just figured we would restore some democracy to Englewood Cliffs. I self-imposed a 2-term limit, which no one does in New Jersey, unfortunately. So at the end of 2023, my second term expired and took a year off from politics, and now I'm running for governor.
Well,
Thank
congratulations,
you.
sir. That's amazing. Um, Mayor Kranjac, can you tell us why you are running for governor?
Oh, there's so many reasons, but essentially, I want to restore New Jersey. It's become a bit of a do-over as a state, having Murphy there for 8 years and his attorney generals. They've pretty much destroyed the law and order aspects of New Jersey, and I want to restore law and order. I want to eliminate the sanctuary state status, and I want to make New Jersey affordable for everyone, not just certain select groups that the judges and legislators seem to be targeting to make affordable. So we're all paying too much in property taxes, and I've got a great track record of cutting taxes. I did that in Englewood Cliffs. I cut taxes every year without cutting services. So I'm the guy to do this. And I remember when I first became mayor, what we did was we cut fraud, waste, abuse, and corruption out of our system. And we didn't have a fancy name for it, like Doge. I wish we came up with that, but we didn't. But we still did the same job, and it works. And we could do it statewide now.
Excellent. Congratulations on your accomplishments.
Thank you. So we're going to have a New Jersey Doge, essentially, as well.
Excellent. Mayor Kranjac, as of right now, what is your status in the race?
As far as I know, we are leading
Excellent. Okay.
because we are a movement. We're a grassroots movement. We're not spending lots and lots of taxpayer money. We're funding this ourselves. And when I became mayor of Englewood Cliffs, we were a movement as well, because even in Englewood Cliffs, uh, as a Republican, we were not in the majority, but I still won, and then I won again. And we're going to do the same thing in New Jersey. At the end of January, there was a poll taken where 47% of primary voters, Republican primary voters, were still undecided. And this is after Jack has spent 9 years running for governor. Bill Spadia has spent over a year and lots of money as well. John Bramnick's been running forever as well. So I came in as a breath of fresh air, as somebody who's done something in the past, who's been elected in Democratic-controlled towns, and reelected as well by a bigger margin. And really importantly, also, I've been endorsed by Newt Gingrich, former Speaker of the House. So we've got a great team together. We've got great volunteers. And the day after I announced that I was running for governor, they changed the signature requirement to get on the ballot from 1,000 signatures to 2,500 signatures. So rather than complain or litigate or do anything that people normally would do, we just went out and we got the signatures. And then Bill Spadia actually challenged our signatures. He sued twice and lost twice. So you're over the target when you're actually winning all these little skirmishes. Now we just have to win the big ones.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. Mayor Kranjac, what is the plan for your campaign to get yourself further along and closer to the winning line?
Sure. Well, it's very clear that we will draw votes from everyone, actually, all three: John Bramnick, Jack Ciattarelli, and Bill Spadia. Their backers have now looked at me and are jumping over. They're jumping ship, come to my ship. And then those 47% undecided voters, we're getting a huge amount of those coming to our side as well. So uh, we have basically universal support from everyone. And we're looking forward to basically bring that home as a victory.
Great, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you now, Mayor Kranjac, your view on a few things, okay?
Sure.
So let's first discuss your view on crime.
Oh my gosh, yes, crime. we have to restore law and order. Police officers, law enforcement officials need to be empowered, not derided. I know a lot of the knee-jerk reactions that we had during the COVID days were completely ridiculous and anti-democratic. I always supported police. I think it's important for police to have good leadership. And even in Englewood Cliffs, I did not tolerate bad leadership because, I view the police officers as the most important part of a community. We need them. We need to support them, and I've always done that. Uh, you know, I'm. I remember when BLM was rolling through town with their protests. I'm still, I think, the only mayor in America who sent them a bill for police overtime. I know you're going to ask me if they paid it. They didn't pay it.
That was a question.
I knew you were going to ask that.
They didn't pay
They
the
did not pay him. But it's like we need to stop the sanctuary state status that Governor Murphy is so proud of, and his attorney general are so proud of. We will not have a sanctuary state. We will not be a sanctuary state. We will not have sanctuary cities. We are a state within a great country, and we need to behave that way. And everybody who takes an oath of office, including the governor, swear to uphold the laws of the United States and the Constitution of the United States. And Governor Murphy has violated his oath so many times. I've asked that he be resigned or that he just resign on his own, including Platkin, who's the Attorney General, and his predecessor, Gerbier Graywall. These people have just violated their oaths of office, and they expect everyone else to follow the rules. They expect all the police officers to follow their oaths, and yet they're violating their own. And now it's gotten to a point where Governor Murphy is actually asking the state police to not uphold federal law, to not cooperate with federal law enforcement, which should not exist. I mean, we need to restore the rule of law and order. I did that in Englewood Cliffs because we'd gone astray for 42 years. You can imagine if the same family is running a town for 42 years, the nonsense that happens. We fixed it. I fixed it, and I'll fix the state as well.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. Mayor Kranjac, what is your view on immigration currently?
So we have immigration laws as a country. Those are the laws that have to be followed. Okay, the state of New Jersey doesn't get to pick and choose, and the state of New Jersey does not have an immigration policy. Its only immigration policy should be to follow federal law. So again, we're not going to be a sanctuary state. If you're here unlawfully, illegally, you need to leave and then reapply to come back in properly and lawfully. It's just gone too out of control. President Obama signed a lot of executive orders to create this situation, as did Joe Biden, and the courts were okay with that. And now that Donald Trump is actually signing executive orders, they're not okay with his executive orders. So, we need to reform our judiciary statewide and nationally as well. Presidents do get to sign executive orders, but no presidents are more important than the other. So we need to have equal treatment, not disparate treatment, as you're seeing with some of the federal judges these days.
Great answer. Thank you, sir. We talked about this, but I'm going to go into a little bit deeper. Mayor Kranjac, can I just ask you to explain your view on law enforcement?
Sure. Well, most important people in government service are police officers or law
Appreciate that.
enforcement.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
absolutely. No group of people who work for the government have a more important role than to keep us safe. It basically was painful to watch what had happened in the past, where there were these defund movements and just anti-police movements. We can't have that. We have to support them. We have to restore the cost of living adjustment that was taken away in, I believe, the Christie administration. Unfortunately, a quote unquote Republican. But we're going to restore all that, and we're going to have defined benefits as well, and defined contributions, that is, rather. And we will also make sure, and this has been a problem in some cities in New Jersey, is the leadership itself is lacking because it becomes too political. So one of the first things I did when I became mayor was I just told everybody, leave your politics at home, just come to work, do your jobs. And if you want to play politics, do it at home, but don't do it at work, because the taxpayer shouldn't be paying for politics. And that's through all the ranks, right up to the chief. And I had a problem with my chief. He was basically like the enforcer for our former mayor, and it just wasn't working well because he didn't treat everyone equally. and that's a problem when you're the chief because the police officers pick up on that. So
Right, right.
we need to have uniform policing, no politics. If you have a government job, just come to work, do your job.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely
easy.
agree.
And after we did that, it was funny because people would come up to me who worked for the town, police officers and others, and they would thank me for giving them their careers back. They didn't have to behave in a certain way. They just had to do their jobs. What's better than that? You know, you come to work, you get paid, you do a good job, and you're happy.
Yeah, it seems simple.
Right. It's a simple formula. Politics is the only thing that'll ruin that formula.
Yes,
Yes. So
agreed,
we got to leave that
agreed,
out of there.
agreed, sir. Thank you. Mayor Kranjak, can you, this is a big bone of contention, for law enforcement, first responders, et cetera, but COLA,
Right.
retirement, et cetera. Can you give us your view on how you see that playing out and what you'd like that to look like?
Sure. There needs to be a replenishment of that and a reinstitution and a truing up of what had happened in the past. I mentioned that earlier that we need to restore it.
Mm.
Um, and you can't just keep making less and less as expenses get higher and higher, especially with inflation that we've had.
Right, excellent. Thank you for that. Mayor Kranjak, can you tell us what makes you the best candidate for governor of New Jersey?
Oh, well, that's really easy. It's easy. I'm the only one who's capable of doing the job, and I'm the only one who's able to do it. And I'll explain. Uh, I've got a lot of work experience. I have a well-seasoned judgment. I've run businesses, and I'm the only one who's actually ever been elected to an executive position. I was elected as mayor and reelected as mayor. So I actually ran something. I didn't hide in an assembly or in a senate and just go along to get along like John Bramnick did and Jack Ciattarelli did. And Bill Spadea has never won an election, completely unqualified to be governor or to do anything else that requires management of a business or a governmental entity. Well, I always ask people to when they hear us all speak, because we all kind of say the same thing. We're going to enforce laws. We're going to get rid of sanctuaries of states. We're going to support our law enforcement. I always ask people to just think about who's capable of doing that. Who's actually going to do it? Well, I did it. I'm the only one capable of doing it by education and professional background. And I'm also the only one who's not taking special interest money. So I remember once I was speaking to Bill Spadea. I said, Bill, do you really think you're going to be able to do any of that? Do you really think George Gilmore, who's the Ocean County chairman, is going to let you do that? He's not going to let you do that. So it all sounds nice, but in reality, I'm the only one who's free to do things and who's just got the intestinal fortitude to do it. I've fought a lot of battles. I had 200 public meetings, and believe me, when you're the only Republican mayor after 42 years, those are not fun meetings. Well, I look at New Jersey the way I look at Englewood Cliffs. New Jersey's been Democrat controlled for so long, and they're not even willing to, the Democrats in New Jersey legislature are not even willing to fight for things anymore because it comes so easy. I'm the guy who's going to make them fight for everything. We may not win every battle, but we're going to take them down to the rug.
Mayor Kranjak, what are your priorities as governor? Say you're elected governor. What are your priorities? What are at the top of your list
Sure.
to accomplish?
So on day one, we end all the sanctuary state nonsense. On day one, we also enforce all law and order. Uh, Police can be police again. Some cities are not permitted to actually do proper policing. And then we cut the whole affordable housing sham. We make New Jersey affordable for everyone. I call it a sham because what happens is developers make a lot of money on quote unquote affordable housing, and then the profits get kicked back to Democrat and Rhino campaigns, and they appoint the judges who keep the whole sham going. Don't forget also in New Jersey, we have 99,000 people who are food insecure right now. That means that they don't get 3 consistent meals a day. We have 12,000 people who are unhoused, 1,200 of whom are veterans. We need to fix that on day one. There's no reason why anyone should go hungry while everyone is, basically scamming the state for money, right? We need to feed everyone, house everyone. You never hear judges, and I've been in a lot of courtrooms dealing with affordable housing in 8 years that I was mayor. You never hear judges actually talk about people who need housing. They always talk about the poor developers who need to convert a commercial property into a high density residential unit and basically create a tax on taxpayers to create all the infrastructure to support that redevelopment. You never hear judges, you never hear legislators, you never hear this governor talk about people who actually need assistance in affordable housing or who are being who need to be fed. It's not about that. It's just about the money, and it's New Jersey. So just follow the money, and you'll see where all the money has gone in over the past 50 years, 40 years of affordable housing. It's not affordable.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed, sir. You mentioned veterans as well. I'm a veteran as well.
Thank you for your service.
My pleasure. Thank you, sir. But can you give me your view on veteran support and your goals as far as how you see the veterans in New Jersey and what you'd like to accomplish to support them?
Sure. Well, first of all, we need to thank all our veterans because what they did is amazing. We need to support them. I know the federal government under President Trump is given more support, and we need to join in that as a state and make sure that there are not 1,200 unhoused veterans in New Jersey. And just to make sure that everyone is taken care of, we need to accommodate the Veterans Administration at the state level for their medical facilities and any other benefit facilities that they need. Um, and we need to recognize them as heroes.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Mayor Kranjak, I just want to conclude with just discussing who you are as a person. What would you consider your strengths and your weaknesses? How do you compare those two?
Sure. So I work hard. I've worked hard to become an attorney, to pass the CPA exam, to run my own law firm, to be a partner in a large law firm before that, to run a venture fund, to run a town. I work hard, and I'm also very loyal to people who help me and who I see are also working hard. Sometimes, admittedly, I have a short fuse if people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. I noticed that as mayor that I had no patience for people who would just come in and if they were an employee or if they were just basically howling at the moon for no reason at all. I call it howling at the moon because it's just people coming in and just deciding to fight with you. And I'd be much better off just ignoring them,
Mm.
but I engage. I engage because I feel sometimes that you need to set the example as a leader to engage. It doesn't always look pretty, and I know people have watched videos, but that's what it is. And I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you're misbehaving, I'm going to call you out. My wife would always say, "Now, did you have to do that, really?" And I would be like, "Yes." So, that's a combination of strengths and weaknesses. But it's gotten me through life. We've raised three wonderful children who are all professionals and careers and out of the house.
Good for
So
you.
that's
Sounds like
all
a
good.
beautiful
Yeah,
life.
so it's been really good, but you do need consistency in your life to be successful. You can't just decide one day to do one thing and another day to do another thing. You need to be consistent in your approach and your methodology, and you'll see consistent results.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. I mean, what's the point of fighting for something if you're not going to stay the course? And sometimes you're alone and sometimes it's ugly and
Right.
absolutely agreed. But thank you.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned, I'm the only mayor in America who sent a bill to BLM, right? So most mayors just kind of cowered and said, "Oh, we'll just let them
Mhm.
do whatever they want." I said, "Well, it's our law, so we have to enforce our law." So I don't make the laws. I'm just there to make sure that they're upheld. And you saw a complete breakdown of law and order in the COVID era, right? We'll call it COVID, that 2020, 21
Yes.
time period. There was a complete breakdown. And that was really generated by our leaders. No one was really leading. I know President Trump was trying to, and he did a great job as far as he could, but he was surrounded by people who were just backstabbers, like Anthony Fauci, who became famously wealthy, right? We just read about it yesterday. How do you get so wealthy if you're a federal employee or if you're in the Senate or in Congress, like on a fixed salary? Like, how do you become so wealthy? How did Joe Biden become so wealthy? Like, how does he own all these houses being a senator since the age of what, 27? It just doesn't add up, right? And that's what all these people are worried about with Doge. That's what Congress is worried about because they see Doge coming. The Cory Bookers of the world, they see that they're going to have to account for how they became famously and fabulously wealthy.
We at the Blue Magazine thank very much Mayor Mario Kranjak, and we wish him the best. Thank you so much for your time. It was a great interview. We appreciate you. Thank
Thanks
you
so much,
so much,
Holly.
sir.
Take care.